Welcome to Poetry with Shing, where we discover the beauty behind poetry. Today we are going to be looking at the poem Valentine by Carol and Duffy. As you can see on the page here, I already have a lot of my annotations, and in pencil is the connotations of certain words in pencil is the denotations of certain words in the poem, while in blue ink is the connotations of the words used in the poem. So firstly, we'll be looking at the title of the poem. The title of the poem is Valentine, and its denotation is love, and Valentine is actually an event that is used for couples or even like family members to express their love, affection to the ones dear to them. So we're going to go on to the first line, which is not a red rose or a satin heart. So the first word not already strikes us as jarring because it is different from what we would expect to happen during Valentine, because red roses and satin hearts are actually gifts that are commonly given during Valentine. And the word not is also very direct, so you can feel the sense that the tone of this poem is very direct. And moving on to the second phrase, which is red rose. Red rose connotates, like the connotation of red rose is love or romance, and satin heart is also something that is commonly known as smooth, luxurious, soft, delicate, elegant, and has an element of seduction. So both of these gifts, which are also cliches for Valentine's, are portrayed in a negative light because the poet here is rejecting the cliche notion of love with the word choice of no at the start of the line. Now moving on to the second stanza, I give you an onion is the second line of the poem. So the onion here is actually a very stark contrast to a rose, because people usually know onions as vegetables and food, and onions are typically rather it has a kind of a pungent smell to certain people, which is different from a red rose, because roses typically give off a very fragrant smell to most people. So the second line of the second stanza is, it is a moon wrapped in brown paper. So now over here, the onion is actually compared to a moon, and both the onion and the moon have a similar characteristic, which is that they are both round in shape. So this moon, actually, to me, it signifies the nighttime. So because moons can usually only be seen at night, so the poet is probably trying to say that love happens both during the daytime, which is where we can usually see the onion, and like onions can be seen both in the daytime and nighttime, and the moon can only be seen at night. So it is a moon wrapped in brown paper. So over here you can see that moon wrapped in brown paper is actually a physical description of the onion, where the outermost skin is actually translucent and thin. So it is actually a metaphor for the onion. It promises, so now we're moving on, so it promises light, like the careful undressing of love. So the diction, the word choice of careful shows that the onion skin might be squashed in the literal sense, and in the figurative sense that love in itself must be handled delicately. So the use of word for undressing also in its denotation is about peeling the onion carefully, because there are different layers in an onion, and that is similar to love, where we have to undress love or handle love carefully, and often there are many different dimensions to love and how we treat it and how we should go about tackling this idea. So the poet is trying to strike a similarity between the careful undressing of love and the careful undressing of an onion when we peel onions. So the careful undressing of love can also be an interpretation of how love can bring light into our lives, because when we undress something, then we let the skin be shown to the light. So here, in the third stanza, we have this first line with only one word here, so it actually mirrors this very direct tone, and this direct tone is actually very apparent throughout the poem. So the poet is actually giving the reader the onion, which is also love, because in this poem the onion is a symbol for love. It will blind you with tears because onions sting the eye, and physically that is how the onion behaves. And in the figurative sense, love will also hurt you sometimes. That's why it brings tears to our eyes. So it will blind you with tears like a lover. So this effect of this imagery here is to draw attention, to emphasize the significance of love being an element that can hurt and can heal at the same time. So it will make your reflection a wobbly photo. It will make your reflection a wobbling photo of grief. The it refers to tears in this sense, and wobbling photo is is because of the constant splattering of the tears, so it makes our vision slightly blurred. Grief is for the lost love, and this refers to probably heartbreak, like emotional heartbreak, leaving one in tears. So here the poet is using a simile. Now moving on, I am trying to be truthful. Here the poet is displaying a sense of honesty and sincerity, and thus the poet is actually trying to signal to us that she is using a very genuine tone and her genuine outlook on love. And she is again very direct because she admits that she is truthful. And the truth about love is that it's like an onion. So that is what essentially the whole poem is trying to say. Not a cute card or a kissogram. So here you can see that the line starts with not, and this not is also a repetition of the first line, where the first line also starts with not. So not a cute card or a kissogram. So both a cute card and a kissogram are typically associated with love, and you can see that once again both are gifts, and they are also symbols of infatuation. So in this sense, the speaker or the poet is actually rejecting cliches of love. I give you an onion. Its fierce kiss will stay on your lips, possessive and faithful, as we are for as long as we are. I give you an onion symbolizes the speaker as the lover is giving the another person that she loves or he loves the love that the other person deserves, because the onion is a symbol of love. And the line I give you an onion is similar to the line in the front part of the poem, so it's again repetition, and this and repetition appearing twice in the poem actually shows us that the poet is trying to say that love exists sometimes in patterns. That's why there's a pattern in similar lines appearing throughout the poem. So next, the fierce kiss reflects the intensity of the speaker's feelings, where the kiss is possessive and still remains there even after it's over. The fierce kiss also resembles the strong flavor of an onion that will continue to stay on your lips after you've eaten it, and it's very lasting. So possessive and faithful both are very strong words, and faithful actually is a comparison to everlasting love, and is also similar to how an onion has strong taste and smell. So once again, it is a metaphor. So if we take a step back and look at the entire poem, actually this entire poem is a metaphor for love, and through the use of onion. So for as long as we are, in the last line of the stanza, it signifies togetherness, which is an element of love. So take it, the it being the onion and also the love, because the speaker's heart holds love for the object of affection of desire. Its platinum loops string to a wedding ring, if you like. So the platinum loops actually refer to the ring patterns of the onion, and it is also referring to how when we peel off the layers of the onion, you can see that loops appear. And the wedding ring is a symbol of proposal and signifies faithfulness in marriage, and is also a symbol of love. So the platinum loops, platinum is actually a very quite a valuable metal in a sense, so it also shows how love is valuable. So in the last stanza, we have little, its scent will cling to your fingers, cling to your knife. So little in a sense shows that love can also kill you and hurt to a deadly extent, and it is also very deadly. So its scent, which is a strong odor, which also is similar to that of an onion, will cling to your fingers, so you can't get rid of it. So it shows that love is very clingy, you cannot get rid of it, and it's difficult because similar to the onion, scent enters your skin, so it's very hard for you to wash it away. In the last line is very impactful, cling to your knife. So the use of the knife, the connotation of knife will be hurting the lover, and also when cutting the onion, it might the scent might stay on the onion for long after you cut the onion. And knife is also used to cut the onion, but it also in a sense symbolizes how the knife can be used to hurt someone even in love, so it can be used to cut up your heart. So this is a summary of the poem Valentine by Carol and Duffy. If you want to hear any other poems being analyzed, feel free to leave the poet and the poem in the comments below.